So guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and I am here right now to show you my Dino a Day review series, and we are on probably you could argue this as the most overpowered, useful, whatever you want to call it, tame in the entire game. And this is the Karkinos. Now, the Karkinos, like you see behind me, this guy is a monster. This one's actually a girl, I believe. Yes, she is a female, but she is an absolute monster. Her stats right off the bat are crazy awesome. Really high health stat, really high stamina, really good weight. This is a 150 perfect tame. You can get these things easily to 30 or 40,000 health. That's something that's not undoable. The one I happened to spawn in was very high. You can get their weight into the multiple of thousands as well. I've seen 3,000-4,000 on some of these things. They're crazy. And their melee damage doesn't really matter too much, but I've seen some people with some pretty fast ones as well, so you know that can be quite helpful. A little bit of extra speed goes a long way with crabs. Now, another awesome thing about them, they take reduced damage from turrets. And I'll show you that right off the bat because that's something that these things are well known for. A lot of people don't use them for raiding, but like for a while they were super overpowered. And what you do is you basically just find the turret, and you back your way into it because it cannot shoot you because the back of the saddle actually protects you. And you can just back your way into turrets and it will take heavily reduced damage from said turret, because the Karkinos gets the buff, basically, in which they prevent taking damage, extra damage from turrets. And you can just sit and soak all day with a Karkinos. And that's something that's really useful, especially late game, because you don't just get shredded like you do on like a Griffin or a Wyvern. These things are just super useful for that reason. Now, I said they were super useful, so let's talk about what they do. First off, yes, you just saw they soak. They're pretty good for PvP as well, because if you pick somebody and they don't happen to have grappling hooks, they are stuck in your claw, just like this, and there's nothing they can do about it. They are just permanently stuck there. They can swing away to your Karkinos, but your Karkinos, as long as it's on passive, they will die before your Karkinos does. And that's just, something that's super awesome. Another great thing about this is it's basically a taming bus. You can pick something up wherever you want to and just tame it. All you gotta do, put it in your claw and knock it out. And that's that, which is, in my opinion, one of the most OP things in the entire game. Now, that being said, they've got that ability to tame things, they can soak, they're pretty good battle mounts as well. So if you were to, this is a really wreck, so I kind of feel bad about doing this. They've got a pretty decent damage output because you can see there's a left click and a right click attack. However, if you use them together, they do a load of damage. It will gather a little bit of meat, nothing superb, and it doesn't actually gain health back when you feed it raw meat super fast. However, if you have access to spoiled meat, when you force feed a crab spoiled meat, their health goes up insanely fast. You can almost out-soak a couple of turrets with just spoiled meat. And that, my friends, is just, that's OP in my opinion. I don't know why that's possible, but it is. A couple more things you can do with this. Let's say you see somebody and they're on their tame. Go ahead and pick their tame up. And this is like one of my favorite things to do. If you hold the tertiary attack on the crab, you see a little crosshair up here. Now with this, if you look up as high as you can, or I would say if it was me, 45-degree angle, and let go, bye-bye. For some reason, crabs have the ability to throw things into absolute oblivion. Like, we're talking such a far distance that it does not make sense in the game. I cannot understand why they do it, but they do. Now, that ability right there is useful for two things. One, it's got the greatest farming ability you've ever seen. If you've never used a crab and you're still using the quets, you need to change your strategy. And if you happen to pick up a player, a lot of players don't just carry parachutes on them when they're doing regular things. And if you're slamming on the ground, you can just launch them into oblivion. And that's it. They're gone. They're dead, because you can't survive a fall from that height unless you've got like 500 health. So that's that. So now what else can you do? So with the Karkinos, you can actually pick up pretty much anything. And whether you're black boxed or overweight, whatever you want to call it, you can literally, just like you see right here, carry this guy until he is full with everything. And I'll show you what I mean by that, because I'm going to go ahead. Let's get some really heavy things. What's heavy? I'm pretty sure turrets are heavy. Turrets are really heavy, I think. Let's get some heavy auto turrets in here. I think that's going to have some weight. So will wind turbines. That sounds pretty hefty. Let's just, you know, make a bunch of those. It's like 24. So how much does this weigh? Okay, there's 1,280. There's a lot more as well. Let's go ahead and put this on the Yankee. As much as we can here, at least. So he now has a lot of weight on him. Let's just leave it that way, okay? With this guy, let's go ahead and put the rest of it on him. You'll notice he is just about totally encumbered. So picking this Yankee up will totally lock him in place. I'll do it a little bit less so you can actually see this a little bit easier. So you can walk. Okay. So he's got a little bit of an ability to walk right now. As soon as I pick this Yankee up, he's totally encumbered. However, with this ability, because I am sitting here not able to move, I can use that throw thing to directionally place things and come back with an unlimited amount of resources. Well, as much as a black box is, which is about 300 stacks. So you can come back with 300 stacks of any resource that you want. So let's say you're on a metal run. This is how those people over on Aberration do those crazy metal runs. Because it doesn't matter how much, there we go, how much weight you have on this guy, because you can just, when he is over encumbered, you just throw him to the next thing, walk up, wait for him to hit that. If you're doing it solo, you can do that as well. Sorry, I looked at there we go, cough going. And let's go ahead and pick the Yankee up again. Here's the last thing that you can do with this guy. He can jump as well. So he can soak, he can grind you resources, he can jump. He can pretty much do everything. He can't fly, which is pretty much his only drawback. If you don't have one of these things, it's a problem. Because 1, taming. 2, soaking. 3, grinding. Literally anything you can imagine needing to do in Ark, the Karkinos is there for you. It is unfortunate that you can't breed them. I've always complained about that, because it's, you know, how realistic is it that crabs... Oh, that is a pretty griffin. My goodness, look at that griffin. Crabs in real life can breed, so why can't Karkinos breed? I doubt there was any crabs this large, or at least that we can actually prove are this large. And, you know, that's that. Now, let me show you one last use for this guy that I just love. Let's drop the Yankee, draw the attention of these things. If you want, you can literally just drive everything into the ground. Now, this right here, this yellow field over on Ragnarok. Excuse me. So, this yellow flower field over on Ragnarok, I've showed you it before, but this is where you can black box your Yankee or any tame with getting a bunch of flowers and getting a whole bunch of stuff that is really used for you really fast. And let's go ahead and one more time. If you use the secondary attack on an Yankee, they can gather a whole bunch of berries, and each one of these berries, each one of these plants counts as a berry plant. So every flower you see here will give you a ton of resources. This is on 1 times that I am getting all these crazy berries with an Yankee. So you can get a ton of resources right here really quickly. And the Karkinos just allows you to do this at a crazy, crazy, crazy rate. If you had 2 of you, you could just walk over this entire area and boom, you're good to go. But the Karkinos is something that you need to tame. This is probably my favorite overall tame in the entire game, because 1, you can see that it picks up things. Even if I needed to be like, okay, I'm going to die. I need this Yankee to live. Hopefully one of your buddies is on. Send the Yankee flying and you can do the battle. And they probably won't be able to track that Yankee, because he just went a long ways away. Now, I can get there. It's just going to take me some time. So, anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and I really do hope you go tame the Karkinos, because they are probably, arguably at least, the best tame in the entire game. It's something that you should go take care of, because these guys are important, important, important to have. Alright, anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and teach.